What's going on, everybody? Just about to send this link out, then we're going to go ahead and get started. So give me 1 second, y'all. All right. So, what's going on, everybody? Go ahead and get started for the pre-London live stream. Just checking out where the markets ended from Friday. Friday, we caught some crazy moves. Caught some crazy moves on US30, some crazy moves on NAS. Called this trade out live on last week's stream on Friday. This was a 1 to 6, almost 1 to 6 risk reward. Crazy amount of pips. Then we also caught NAS on Friday. Another crazy amount of pips. We caught a lot of trades, but we ended the week Monday, 13,000 pips. Tuesday, 38,000. Wednesday, 544. Thursday, 13,000. Friday, 97,000, almost 100,000 pips just Friday alone, which is insane. So right now, just looking to see possible setups for the day. Haven't entered anything yet, just watching the charts mainly. But we're about to see what opportunities we can find. So there's not really much news going on today. It's not as bad as last week, at least I should say, red folder wise. Last week we had a bunch of red folders, especially in the middle of the week, starting for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We had a bunch of back-to-back red folders, but this week won't be too bad. We only have a couple. I just had it up. I don't know why it's acting up. Oh, I won't go in too far. That's why. Okay, here we go. So today, as you can see, nothing really going on. We have a couple orange folders. 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. is an orange folder. 9 a.m. is a red folder. That's the only red folder for today. So nothing too crazy. So 4 o'clock, I'll probably just wait to see if that has really any effect on the euro pairs. If not, then I'm going to go ahead and hop into them. But as for everything else, it is free game for the day. So I'm just looking at the charts right now to see what's going on. So US30, we're in the overall downtrend. So we've been dumping, calling sells for days, for weeks. As we can see, we've been in a downtrend since really the downtrend really began in August. So we've been in a downtrend for almost 2 months now. We can see it here, see it here. Then we had a huge dump these past few days. So we are due for a potential retracement. It could make the next lower high here, come up to here, retrace, react off this level, then continue down, or it could just continue to push down. So that's what we're going to be waiting for to see what market wants to do. But we do have to keep in mind there is this wall right here that can cause price to react, just like how we see price reacted here to it, reacted here to it, reacted here to it, and it reacted here to it. You see the wick right here, and you see that it came all the way up here. Today's candlestick started right here, came up here, and then pushed all the way back down underneath the zone. So when volume picks up, if it can stay underneath the zone, then potentially, hit the wrong thing. Then potentially I could look for a sell here. But as always, we're just waiting for volume to come in. These are just trading ideas, not jumping into anything or confirming which idea I want to go with until I see what the market actually is presenting to me. because again, we do not control the markets. We're simply opportunists, so we have to wait for opportunities to arise. For a sell, this would be a good opportunity to sell, but again, waiting for more confirmations and waiting for more volume to pick up, so that way price will move and we're not going to just be ranging. But if I was to enter a sell, this would be the first target right here, the previous low underneath the zone. But I like to go zone to zone. I'd probably put my stop loss right here. Maybe that's about a 1 to 3 risk to reward. But again, we got about 45 minutes until London session starts. So just going to wait to see what happens then. But this is a very good sign. We already see the retest candle here. We see it reject this level here multiple times, and then it did the retest, rejection wick, another retest, rejection wick. So this is a very good sign. So depending on what the next couple of candlesticks look like, I may go for sales. Again, the first target is going to be right here. And then from there, we're going to see if it continues to break under from here and then continue down, or if it's going to reject harshly back up. So that's what we're going to be looking for to see exactly what it does. Now, NAS, on the other hand, it is still on this side of the zone, so it will be a little bit tricky. But if US30 is pushing, usually NAS will push. But we have to keep in mind when it hits the zone, it could reject, like how we see this huge rejection wick here. So we do have to keep that in mind. So could potentially look for NAS sells as well, but again, just have to keep the zones in mind. Keep in mind how price will work and react to them. But when we look at NAS, we are in a downtrend as well from around the same point, August 16th. Okay, so as you can see, we're in a clear downtrend here, and it could be, again, just like you'll start to do, for a little retracement for a lower high. Could go to here, react off this level here, then shoot back down. The highest I could say is maybe right here. If it breaks past here, it's probably going to be, the trend's going to change most likely. Because again, we see this where the trend began here, but we look right here. What happened last time price hit here? The uptrend began. So we cannot be surprised if the uptrend does begin these next couple days. But again, there's a lot of volume, and until it shows us that the trend is changing, who would assume the trend's changing unless it shows a sign? So we're going to continue to look for sales until price shows more signs that the trend's going to be changing. So for me, I want to look for price to push down here and possibly go for more sales. So that's what I'm going to be doing, especially since it's Monday. I'm in no rush to enter trades. I really want to take my time and look for the best setups and also highest probability setups as well. So we see prices still reacting to the zone like so. So again, we want to wait for it to break under here to enter any trades. It is looking good right now, though. We see that still some bearish momentum wanting to go down. So that is a good sign. But again, just have to patiently wait and see what it decides to do. But if it decides to continue to push down, this will be the zone right here. But I probably want to, again, same thing, first check point would be like right here, so the middle of the zone. But as of now, just going to be patiently waiting to see what price does. So we got one more 15-minute candlestick, 3 more 5-minute candlesticks until London session starts. So we're going to see exactly what it brings to us. Now, Jpy, we had a bunch of news, red folder news for the GBP pairs. As you can see, it was in this ranging all the way up here, and then literally 1, 2, 3 candlesticks, it shot down from 164.15 to 149.96. So let's just do some quick math. Yeah, that's over 1,000 pips on GJ, which is insane. 1,500 pips to be exact. So that's insane in 3 days. But as you can see, this harsh rejection wick offer this level of price right here. So could look for potential sales depending on how price reacts. But as you can see, literally after a hit here, it retreats all the way back up on the 4-hour time frame and it's hitting the zone, and now it's reacting to the zone. So could look for potential sales because this is also a good zone to look for trades. This has been treated as a support and resistance level, as we can see right here on the 4-hour time frame. So could very much so look for sales here. Just have to see exactly what's going on. But as we can see here, it's still rejecting this level. So if it continues to show signs it wants to reject and respect this level as a resistance level, I may look for sales. But as you can see right here, it's struggling to break it. So again, I'm going to wait till London session, see what it's doing, and then decide from there what the move will be. Might be looking for gold setups too. I like where gold's at, but again, I just want to wait for London session when volume really starts to push in to enter any sales. But it's doing the same thing, rejecting back up, which is a good sign, going right back to the ideal entry. So if it stays close to the entry, this next candlestick, and depending on, it's underneath this level of price too, so it could be very much sales. So depending on what this next candlestick looks like, I may or may not enter gold sales. I could put the stop loss right here. Yeah, I could put it. I'm gonna put it like right there, just to give us some wiggle room. But I do like how this is looking. It's underneath this level of price. It could very much. The first target would be to come right here, and if it breaks right here, then of course continue to hold it down. But this would be the first target. A nice 1 to 2. Full trade would be a 1 to 4 risk to reward, which is not bad. So I'm gonna wait for the next 15-minute candlesticks. Also gonna keep an eye on the 5-minute candlestick to decide what to do. But I do like how that setup's looking. Yeah, my main targets for today are gonna be the same: futures and indices, commodities, NAS100, US30, US30, SPX, Usdx. US30 is in a good setup position too for a sell because again, this has been in a downtrend since August 16th as well. Not a coincidence. We see the downtrend here. See the downtrend. See a light retracement, but then came back down. So we are still in a downtrend. So price is underneath this level of price on the zone, which is a good sign. It already did a retest and it's in the middle of its move. So if it's still showing signs of sales, London session, do not be surprised if I call a sell. But again, it is Monday. Volume's just starting to push back in, and it's also not New York session when everything's open up. So price will most likely retrace, and price will most likely not complete all the full moves. And by full moves, I mean zone to zone. So especially on these indice pairs, with any pairs in general, any trades in general, you should always want to secure your profits. But just keep that in mind, and really want to secure your profits on Mondays and Fridays especially. So SPX, same thing. Be looking for a nice sell setup here if volume shows me so. So we have a lot of good looking setups here. We'll have to patiently wait for confirmation candles to enter these setups. But we do have a lot of nice setups here. Very good setup. Yeah, it's retracing back up, which is not bad for us. the closer to the zone we can get, the better. So that's not bad for us. I could adjust the zone, but I want, again, I'm not trying to go too far for the first trades on Monday. This will be a nice little setup here. Nice little 1 to 2, not too bad. The Usdx, same thing. You can see a potential sell setup off this zone right here. Did a nice little retest. Already on the way down. So when volume picks up, if it decides not to flip the script on us, we'll very much so look for sales too, because we can see here how it's still pushing down all these rejection wicks. And the rejection wicks went on this side of the zone, pushing downwards, showing signs of bearish momentum. And then we can see more of that here on the 1 hour. Multiple hours here, it stayed at this level of price, and then eventually broke past under, retested this wall right here, and it's rejecting, which is an excellent sign. So again, London session coming up. If it's still showing signs for sales, we could catch some quick pips. Most likely will retrace before New York session starts, but that doesn't mean we won't be able to find potential opportunities in London session as well. But again, I'm in no rush, so I'm just really just getting the trade ideas ready, looking to see where the charts are at, figuring out what pairs I like and what pairs I'm gonna stay away from. US oil, it's been in a downtrend for a while too. It's been in a downtrend literally since the downtrend kind of began in June. So this one's been a few months. Now, could have caught a trade again when markets opened back up today, but I only trade London and New York session. Well, let me say I only enter trades London and New York session. So I'm fine missing that trade. But if it continues to push down, because again, we have a sensitive level of price right here, it could very much reject off of this when volume comes up, but it's still in a downtrend. So I'm still going to be looking for sales mainly until it shows me the signs otherwise. So I'm going to wait for it to break underneath this zone and then wait for the retest and then possibly go for sales from there. But as of now, just going to be chilling and waiting. Because as we can see right here, it is reacting to the zone nicely. So we have this nice candlestick formation. So we're really just going to wait for volume. And I'd like to see it break under within the next couple 15-minute candlesticks. Now, whether we'll do that, we're going to have to see. But that's what I'd like to see. If it does do that, potential sell setup could be right here. Stop loss would be like right here at this wall. So a nice 1 to 2 risk to reward setup, which is not bad. So we have a lot of good ideas. Again, we have the news at 4 o'clock for the euro. So might watch and reserve what that does. A few pairs are in good spots, but not a lot, which isn't terrible. Really just going to be just observing the charts for today and going for the best setups as always. Had a bunch of huge dumps last week, as we can see. Like this was a nice steady downtrend, broke past this level, drop, and then literally mainly the move happened in one day. The GPUSD went from 1487 to 0829. Yeah, 0829, which is insane. It's the same amount of pips in one day. So a bunch of huge dumps happened. GJ looks like it's pushing up back above this zone. So let's see here. Yeah, so like just look at this huge rejection wick. This thing dropped even today. 155.64. Yeah, we already talked, like that's a crazy big drop right there. So when volume picks up, we're going to see what it does. We're going to see if it decides to continue to push up, and if it shows signs to continue to push back up, might go for quick buys here to either here or here, depending on how price reacts. Or if it decides to push back down, could look for sales. First target here to potentially right here. But again, depends on what these next candlesticks look like and what volume's looking like. But it is pushing up back above the zone pretty hard. So will be definitely interesting to see what it does. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep an eye on GJ too. I'm gonna let it settle and do its thing though, and then go from there. But yeah, GBP just got some volume pushed into the markets because all GBP pairs are pushing, which isn't a terrible thing. Nothing wrong with that. Have another crazy rejection wick. So yeah, all these pairs just did a quick dump, and literally 3 minutes before London session starts, they're doing a harsh retracement. So going to wait to see exactly what they do once the session starts and what direction it's trying to go, and then we're going to go from there. Because even right here, GPCHF doing the same thing, retracing all the way back to this zone. Let's see here. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, so they're all having the same similar formation. We've seen this formation, this candlestick formation, a few times in the 4 hours so far on a bunch of different charts. So depending on, it's reacting off this level right here. So we'd like to see it come a little bit closer, but if it shows signs it wants to drop right here, could potentially look for sales, but I like to see it get as close to the zone here and then go for sales from there. But we will have to wait and see in 2 minutes what this next candlestick does. Because overall, as you can see, we're in a downtrend. We've been in a steady, slow, staggery downtrend. And then, on Friday and then today, will cause this huge dump here, rejected off the zone, pushing back up. So depending on what these next few candlesticks look like, could try to ride the wave back down. So that's what I'm going to be looking for in the next few minutes. Critical sell. This one could potentially go on the zone. Put it right here. And it is 3 a.m. So it's time to see what the markets decide to do. 80 JPY, yeah, ended up going down, but it still was a struggle to even go down. So we could have caught some pips if I caught this on Friday, but still wasn't a smooth trade. Very much struggled. ADU New Zealand hit the zone rejected, missed the dump down. That is fine. Might go back to it later, see what it's doing, but as of now, I'm just going to leave it alone. It's not anywhere that I would like to even want to try to interact. And there's plenty of other trades in better situations to look at. So no point in trying to force a trade there. This did a nice rejection on the 4 hour, which is good. Yes, I like how this is looking right here. So this could be a nice little sell setup. Probably put it I don't even need to put it that high. I could put it like right here. Could put it like right there. But yeah, that candlestick, it already kind of started to move underneath this wall. So I might call this, I could call this in a second. Depending on what it looks like, we could catch some pips. But my question would be, where's it at? 6,400. First target would be right here, which would just be a few pips. That's like 10 pips. But could very much so go to here, which would be about 20 pips. And then volume is really pushing our way. Could make the entire move down because on the bigger time frame, this is a very strong level of resistance and support, as we can see here. Rejection up, huge rejection, huge rejection, huge rejection. Then we have multiple rejections here. It broke under, had this rejection wick here, but we see that it's staying underneath this level of price as of now. So could very much respect that level and drop down. But let me see what these what US30 and them are doing. So they are pushing up. US30 just broke back above this zone, which is interesting. So again, like I said, this could be the time when the trend can change, or it's just doing a retracement. But as of now, just watching, still haven't entered. Going to see how it reacts. Yeah, they're all pushing up, which is no problem. Yeah, they're all pushing up. So just gonna let them do their thing as of now, and then come back to them to decide if I want to enter, what direction they're going, and all that good stuff. So that's cool. Yeah, but the last session just started literally just 3 minutes ago, so just gonna be waiting right now. There are some nice potential setups though. There really are. So AUD CAD's another one. Rejected off this lower price like it did here. Went with the same. Now I'm just waiting for multiple candlesticks to see if it wants to stay on top of this level. I want to see a stack on a level price, and if it does do that, then I'll potentially enter. But we caught this nice sell on Friday. Caught this entire sell on Friday, which was a nice move down. We also caught New Zealand CAD down. So just gonna be looking to see what it does here, because again, this, you can kind of say this is a downtrend, but for the most part, it's just been bouncing in between zones, and now it's in these zones. Then it broke under, well, attempted to, didn't go too far, shot back up, so now it's ranging in this zone. So depending on what the next couple candlesticks look like, it could continue to push down, or it could be a bounce back up. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what it decides to do from there. Let me see what this is doing though. Yes, everything is retesting, which is normal. Usually the first candlestick of London and New York push back in the other direction. Yeah, so if it decides it could stay on this, might potentially look for buys. Not gonna jump the gun too soon though, because again, overall been in a downtrend for a few weeks. So I see clear signs that the trend's changing. I'm gonna leave it be. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, because again, there's a huge wall here. Look at what happened when price hit this level. It's trying to come up, because we see the uptrend here, right? Look what happened when price came up to here. caused a gap on the daily for one, then shot all the way down. So that's a harsh rejection. Okay, so seeing things like that show me. Then we have a slight rejection here, not too harsh compared to that one. But seeing a harsh rejection like that just shows me to keep an eye on this level and really see how price is reacting. As you can see, it's still struggling to even break through that. So we very much, like I said, could see potential retracement up to here for sales, or could be potentially the start of uptrend. But US30 has not been this low, as you can see, has not been this low since, you can say, December 2020 or November 2020. So literally, so literally like 2 years. It hasn't been this low in 2 years, which is insane. So this is the lowest it's been in years. So we'll continue to dump and make new lows. That is what we're going to have to wait and see. And that's a pretty strong 15-minute candle pushing up. Yeah, everything's pushing up right now. Yep. So it's really going to be waiting to see what price decides to do. Yep, but if y'all on YouTube and it's the first time clicking the live stream, make sure to hit that sub button. Make sure to check out my other videos on this channel. I don't just live stream, I also do trade breakdowns, have videos talking about psychology, have videos talking about how to identify trends, reading candlesticks. So if you're ever confused what trend you're in, or if you ever enter a trade and it just blows through your stop loss, either enter during news, entered at a bad time, or more than likely you entered on the wrong side of the zone, or you weren't looking at the trend on the higher time frame. I always suggest going on the daily time frame to determine what the trend is, because again, let's go on something more clear. But this one, again, it's been a bunch of dumps lately, so it'll be kind of hard to not tell. Some things are in a downtrend or uptrend because there's been a lot of pumps and dumps. But of course, if you're on a smaller time frame, you're not going to be able to see the overall picture. Like right here, you can't really see a downtrend, right? You don't really know what is going on. But when you're on a bigger time frame, you're able to know what direction price is going, which is why it's important to go on the bigger time frame so you know the trend and direction price is going. Because again, if we don't control price, we need to be going the direction price is going, which will make the probability of the trade going our way even higher. So putting that on top of trading based off these zone levels, we have the trend going our way. So we have the momentum and direction of price going our way. And then we're entering off of these entry points off these zones. So we have the momentum off the reaction off the zones going our way as well. Because we see these reactions based off these rejection wicks. And then again, if we go on smaller time frames, we can really see how price reacts to these levels. We see it staying to this level here. We see it treating this as a support level here. And then on other pairs, we can see them getting treated as resistance and support levels as well. We see resistance here. We see support here. We see support. We see resistance. We see support. We see resistance. We see support, resistance, resistance. And this, again, there's a lot of crazy wicks because this is the daily time frame too. So the euro did the same thing we saw with the GBP pairs, except the other way around. So there's a lot of interesting things going on today. But it looks like a bunch of the USD pairs are pushing up, which is fine. But we're just 11 minutes into London, so can't base everything strictly off of one candlestick. So we're just going to be waiting. But again, if I see multiple confirmations that it potentially is going to be going up, depending on what I see, we could go for some quick pips on the upside during the retracement. But if it's like struggling to even break this level, then I might just leave it alone to keep watching. And I might just trade some currency pairs. Yep, everything's pushing up, which is fine. Okay, so it's still respecting this wall here. So, depending on the next candlestick, the 5 and the 15, which is in 2 minutes, could hop and sell because it was shooting up, but it's still respecting this wall here, which is a good sign. So, might call this trade out. Yeah, I like that candlestick. Yeah, so the next candlestick, unless it makes the dump now or starts to push now, I should say, I might call this one out because I like how this one looks. But we're going to wait and see. But I do like how this looks. I want to see it go to here at least. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just going to be watching this one for now because nothing else really is going on. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this one. But this is the reality of trading, y'all, especially when you're going for the bigger move because we don't really scalp here. We try to go for the overall direction of price because if we go with the overall direction of price and overall direction of price for the day specifically, you'll be able to catch as many pips as possible, which is how we're able to, do that with US30 and all these other pairs. Because again, if we go on the daily time frame, we entered right here. This is where we entered at. We can see that on the smaller time frame. We entered right here. And we caught the entire move for the day. It did not go up. We were barely any drawdown since the entry. After the first couple 30 minutes, we were not in any drawdown, and we caught the entire move for the day. But I just saw the new candlestick pop up, so let's go back to 80 CHF to see what we are talking about. And then let me put these on the back. So yeah, we see these rejections here. So yeah, so let me just pay attention to this one though, because it's the one I'm looking at. And for those that are new to the Signal Room, either they just joined off the stream or you're just new in general, I want y'all to keep in mind to the notification that I just put into the Signal Room. I just send this disclaimer out every morning before I call out any trades. So anyone new understands how the strategy works. There are going to be some rejections. and things like that, because I trade with the trainer. I trade based off of levels of price. So when these prices hit these levels of price, it's going to do one of three things. It's either going to reject or break through, or it's going to play on that level of price like we see here. So this is playing on the level of price. This is rejecting the level of price. When it came up and it rejected this wall, this is rejecting lower price and potentially for breakthrough, or it's going to shoot back up like we see here when it hit this level. Because when price hit this wall here, it tried to push down multiple times and then it just see this huge candle push up. So that is the three things price is going to do. But I like how this is looking. So I might call this trade out. Let's see. It breaks past these two candlesticks and pushes past this wick. I'm gonna call this out. And it's already doing that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and enter this. Again, it's still early in the session, so it could flip on us, but the way it's looking and finally it's breaking underneath this, I'm entering. So that is what I'm doing. And I'm about to call this signal out, but it's already pushing pretty quick. So depending on how quick it pushes and if it rejects off this level of price right here, if it retraces off this, I might call the signal out into the signal room. But if it starts to push too far, I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to post in the signal room, mainly because I don't want them to jump in the trade while it's pushing so deep into the zone. And then when it does retrace, they mean a lot more drawdown than us and things like that. And also, I want them to get a good entry as well, so they can catch as many pips as possible as well. So I am going to get the signal ready though. Stop loss for those looking. So 64.50 is going to be the stop loss. 64.50. The first TP is going to be 63, 63.90. Could round it up a little bit, but we're just going to go with could do like 63.92 just to round it up a little bit. But this is going to be the first target point, and then depending on how it reacts to that level, if it continues to push down or not, then we're going to go for this price level here, which is going to be like 63.85, and then we'll go from there. But it's rejecting off that level, which is normal. So I'm going to go ahead and get this signal ready to post. But while I'm doing that, I just want to look and see what these other pairs are doing. So it's stacking on this level of price. So depending on what the next couple candlesticks do, might determine if I want to go for a buy or not. But this one's already in the middle of the zone. This one, not too much. Well, I'm just going to watch these and see what they do, because this one's at the top of the zone. I'm not in a rush to enter too many trades at the beginning. Like, it's literally just 20 minutes into the session, so I'm not in too much of a rush. I'm not going to jump in a bunch of trades right now, especially not with a bunch of confirmations, especially in a buy when everything is in a deep downtrend right there. So let me go ahead. Put the signal out. Because this could, yeah, so it's already trying to push back this line. So this could be potentially some good pips right here. Let's see. 6395. Yeah, so I have my stop loss 64.50. You can put 64.50, 64.55, whatever you like. I usually like to try to round to the nearest thing. So that's why I have it the way I have it. And I want to see it break 63.90. So this one, the TPs are going to be like 5, 10 pip intervals. But as you can see, it's pushing here, which is a good sign. Now, what's very important is what the next candlestick does. Next 5-minute and 15-minute. Now, if it stays under here and continues to push down, that is what we want to see. But again, it could, after it hits this wall, very much so reject. So don't be surprised if you see price reject, because especially when it's not enough a lot of volume in the markets, which is why I like to trade London, New York, where there's the most volume. But again, we are early into London, so volume is still slowly pushing in, and of course, more volume will push in New York session. But if it continues to stay under here, and the next candlestick, it determines that it wants to stay, stack, retest, and push down. We could very much go zone to zone, but of course, the next checkpoint would be this level of price right here. So as you can see, we see a rejection wick. Nothing surprising, very normal, but we see the push. So we see that it is, like I said, showing us signs that it wants to continue to go down. So just going to give time for price to do its thing. It's either going to do one or two things. It's either going to hit SL or TP. There's no reason to stress while in a trade. We did an analysis before we entered the trade. We're not over leveraging. Because again, I recommend everyone risking 1 to 5% of your account per trade. Doing funded accounts, obviously this can be a smaller number, 1 to 2%, but there's no point in putting all your eggs in one basket or trying to make a bunch of money off one trade. Should be going. Trading is a week by week, month by month, quarter by quarter thing, especially with smaller accounts. It's not you take things day by day, but you shouldn't be trying to make your overall goal in one day. You should have a daily goal, but you shouldn't be trying to make your overall goal in one day. You get what I'm saying? So it's rejecting a little bit. So I'm about to put this signal out. So let me just put the rest of the TPs on. And this one's a little bit tricky. The TP wise, so TPs. I'm debating if I want to round them a little bit, but as of now, I'm keeping like this. If I decide I need to adjust them, I will. But yeah, I just put the signal out. It's rejecting, which is nothing out of the ordinary. Not too worried about it. Like I said, I already entered this, so now it's just to patiently wait. Because again, it's only going to do one or two things: hit your TP or hit your SL. No reason to stress too much about the trade. Yeah, so this stuff's pushing up. So yeah, it's doing what I said in the beginning of the stream. It's doing the retracement up. I'm not too worried about it. I'm actually not even going to enter because again, it is an overall downtrend. So this very much could be a retracement for the lower high. And then go back down. Or if it continues to stack on top of this lower price, then is when I'll look for buys. But for now, I'm just going to patiently wait. Could catch some pips on the upside, but again, if it's overall in a sell, I'm not going to go for a buy because at any moment it could shoot back down. So I'm going to wait for the next target point of entry, which will be up here. And then I'm going to see what price is doing when price is up here to determine if I'm going to go for a sell or if I'm going to go for a buy. So this is pushing up, and it looks like it's trying to stack on this level of price. It has this wall to break, but zooming out, we can see that it's on top of this level of price. So this could be a potential buy, because again, we're not in a very clear trend right now. We're in a very rangy, retracing market on this chart, so things are a little bit differently. With this is why this is one where you can really use these zones to catch pips and ping pong up and down. Obviously, I went for sales here and sales here because that was the price was showing me. As you can see from the previous, how price was underneath this in this zone a lot more than it was above this zone. You get what I'm saying? So just basing things off that, it made a lot of sense to look for sales over buys, because again, just looking here, price has been under this line more than it's been above this line right here. So this was a very simple that was a very simple decision to go for sales those 2 days. But second candle, 15-minute candlestick in above this level of price, which probably explained the retracement off CHF, because Australian dollar has picked up some volume. So it is flipping the script on us a little bit, but it has these level of traffic. So unless it rips past these, I'm not really freaking out too much. But going back to this, I like how this is looking. So depending on the next 15-minute candlestick, which is in 2 minutes, I will decide what I want to do with that. But like I said, with the euros, I'm just going to keep an eye on them. But let's see what they're going to do. But I don't really like these at. This one is in a nice position. Maybe it did a huge retracement though, so it could end up pushing back up, or it could just fill this imbalance up. But it did a huge retracement. It went all the way down here, and then it went all the way up here, and it started right here. So it's right back where it started, and now the candle is green and it's pushing up. And that's the USD, and as you can see, the USD is pushing up for all these pairs right here. So definitely the retracement time, which is not a surprise based off, like I was talking about earlier in the stream. You really see it on US30, but we see this harsh rejection here. We see this lower price here, but on US30, which is what the futures really like to follow, you can see it much clearer right here. Now you can see price is above it, in fact, and pushing up. But again, if anyone interbuys, that's cool. But me personally, I see that we're over in a downtrend. So, like I said before, I'm gonna wait for what price see what price does right here to determine if I'm going to enter a buy or a sell. So new candlestick just popped up. See what that decides to do, and see if this breaks this wall right here or decides to go back down. So that's what we're going to be paying attention to right there. As well as I'm looking on both my screens for other potential setups. I have a few ideas, but again, it is Monday. Volume is slowly pushing back into the markets. And of course, like futures indices, stocks and all that, those don't open up until later, which is New York session. So volume is really going to be a little bit lower for the day, but that is normal on a Monday. And we see GBP CHF looking like a nice sell setup, just like AUD CHF. So let's see if Yeah, this candlestick's trying to push down too. But obviously, they both have CHF as the second pair, but they're both paired up with something completely different. This is GBP, the other one's Australian dollar. But I like how this is looking too. Still respected this level of price. Hasn't broken this, even touched this wall yet. Hasn't even hit it. Let me see something. Oh yeah, so this was the retest. So we could potentially try to ride the wave back down. That's what I'm looking for. Just had to remind myself, but things are pushing up right now. So let's see what happens. Still hasn't broken this wall. It's rejected it once, twice. It's trying again. So just gonna be watching to see what it does. AD So it is stacking on top of this level of price. It's underneath this wall right here though. So gonna be waiting to see if it decides to break this wall or not. Hasn't broken this previous wick either. But yeah, so it's pretty much just a waiting game. And I'm pretty much just gonna be observing the markets for the most part. And if I see an opportunity, a very high setup opportunity, good risk to reward, very nice entry, then I'm going to take it. But yeah, as we can see, everything's pushing up USD wise. Usdx is even pushing up, following US30 and other futures and commodities. So it is the retracement phase of the trend, which is fine. Let me see what gold's doing. Yep, gold's doing it too. So let me see here. It was a huge rejection. It's coming up. It could come up here. It could be looking like it's going up, right? And then when it comes here, it could very much shoot back down. Or when it comes here, it could shoot back down. And that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for potential sell setups at one of those two levels. So that's what I'm going to be patiently waiting for. Because when it hit those levels, it's either going to break through it or it could reject harshly back to the downside. And that is what I'm going to be looking for. Yeah, so they're still trying to push up, which is fine. Not really tripping too much. Yeah, but a lot of pairs are they retracing or they're not where I would really like to enter at. Let's see here. This is dropping harshly. It's just stacking on top of the level of price. And there it goes, rejecting that level again. Like I said, that's why you can't freak out too much. It could hit the SL, but also could hit the TP. You have to think about what's most likely going to happen. We saw that we have this wall built here. We saw multiple times it rejected it. We waited for multiple candlesticks. So it did retest it, but as we can see, the candlestick is dropping down. Now, of course, we still can't get too excited until it breaks underneath this price right here and continues to push down. But this is why it's so important to stay calm, trust your analysis, and hold the trade till SL or TP gets hit. Because there's no point in freaking out or stressing about a trade once you enter. It's too late then. You're supposed to do all the thinking before you enter a trade. So all the overthinking really doesn't do much besides hurt your confidence and hurt your account. So let's just watch and see what it decides to do. Because right back at these candlesticks right here, I want to see it obviously break past here. Yeah, as we can see, it is trying. So that's a good sign. Yeah, that's also why I waited for it to reject off this line right here before I post in the signal room. So people that actually are that entered during the signal room might actually be up right now because they could have potentially entered right here, if not right here. So they should be actually. Some people could be up right now, but for those that entered with me, it's right back at entry. Still trying though. Not too surprising. It's gotta break this level completely. So that's what I'm waiting on. But again, it's still good signs because it's still staying underneath this level of price and it's still rejecting off of this lower price right here, as we can see right here. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm about to put the line under these wicks right here, right? And then we're going to go to the left. And look where this wick retested and rejected off of. Straight to the T. And you saw where I marked it off of. And then even right here, we can see how many times price came up here, retested, rejected, 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 rejected. So price literally repeats itself. You just got to know what you're looking at and what you're looking for. So push back there again. I want to see it break past this previous wick. And of course, most importantly, new 5-minute candlesticks about to appear. It would be nice to see it stack and continue to push down to break this level and then go here and then potentially go here, then here, then here, then to the bottom of the zone. So this is dumping. I wonder if this one is following suit. And it is. Hmm. Hmm. Do I want to enter this one? That's the question. Yeah, I'm not in too big of a rush to jump into these trades though, so I'm just watching for the most part. But I do like how this is looking too. But AEDCHF is still struggling to break this level, as you can see. So once volume starts to pick up, I do believe it can do so because we see it respecting this level and pushing to the downside. But we see it just reacting to this wall, which is normal, which is what I pointed out from the beginning of the trade. So when volume comes in, if it's doing this by itself, when volume comes in, it should very much still respect this level and break through it. Because again, we're just 40 minutes into London session. Not that deep into it at all, so not really tripping. This is stacking on top of that level of price, which is good. That one's too late to enter. Zealand Jpy. Wonder what New Zealand Jpy is trying to do. Because it's just retest. Okay, so it reacted off this level of price right here. Let me just turn this. Why is this yellow? I'm just going to turn it blue for now. Reacted off this level of price. It's rejecting. It's pushing up. Alright, this is a key low right here, which would explain why it's doing that. But as you can see, it rejected off this wick right here, so it's stacking on a level of price. So depending on the way volume and momentum goes, could potentially look for buys, or it could continue to drop down. But again, it has this very key, it's at a very key level of price, just like US30 is. And it's doing the same thing US30 is. Now this is US30, we're looking at New Zealand JPY. But on the daily, it is still at the same spot, has the same level right here, just like US30 does, and is on top of that level of price, just like US30 does. Let's go back to New Zealand JPY. You see what I'm talking about? On top of the level price, very similar looking. And then the daily candlesticks are doing very much the same thing. Daily candlesticks. Again, these are things you have to look for. The more time you're on the charts, the easier it's going to be to notice these things and point them out. These are two very different currency pairs, and they're doing the same thing. So that's why I tell you, our price does the same thing all the time, every chart, just at different times. Like, obviously, it's not going to do the same exact thing, but they do all the same thing. So signs you can look for buys, you can look for the same signs, same candle structures on any chart. Same thing with sales. So if this continues to stack on this level of price, could potentially go for a buy. And then of course the first target would be, first checkpoint would be right here, which is the middle of the zone. But that's just a idea as of now. Only trade I am currently in is AUD CHF, which is rejecting again, which I'm not too worried about. And then I'm waiting on volume to pick up, I should say. So just gonna be chilling right now. It's underneath this wall right here. So gonna be chilling as of now. Still respecting this level. Thought I would break past that right there. Just an tight little spot. Yeah, so we're just gonna be chilling and see what it does. Because it's in a tight little spot and it's struggling as of now, but it is still trying, which is what is important. New 15-minute candlestick showing just that it's reacting to this wall again, and it's going to push back down. This is what I mean by volume, because if volume was in play, after it hit this wall, it would have shot back down and rejected. But since there's not a lot of volume, it's trying to do it on its own, but it's struggling to break these walls and other levels of price without volume helping it. So that is what we see going on right there. Nothing out of the norm, nothing out of the normal, nothing out of the ordinary. Very simple stuff, because again, it's Monday. We faced the same stuff last week. In fact, there was a couple trades last week where it didn't go anywhere and it was struggling to break levels until volume picked up. This happened last week on GJ. We went for the sell. As you can see, this is the 15-minute time frame. So just do the math. How many hours? Whoops. Just do the math. How many hours we were in drawdown right here. You see how many times it was just retesting this wall until it finally broke at this candlestick right here. So just imagine how many hours we were in drawdown right there. So, but never hit that sell. So that's why it's very important not to be just looking at the red number on your screen or blue number on your screen. You should only be looking at the blue number on your screen when the TP gets hit. You should not be looking at that or when you're thinking about closing the trade. But if it's a red number on your screen, you need to see why the number's red. So that's when the chart comes into play. You need to be able to go in the chart, see why you're blue, why you're red, and understand what price is doing at all times. Because that'll make things a lot less stressful. Because if you don't know what you're doing and then you're in drawdown, I'd be freaking out too. But if you know what you're doing, you understand why you're in drawdown, and you also understand the basic rules of trading, you will be under a lot less stress and trading will be a lot easier. Trading became a lot more simpler and easier for me when I became less stressed about it. And of course, the stress got relieved by me practicing and getting a better understanding of things. It didn't just happen. You know what I'm saying? Yep, so just chilling, waiting. And I don't really see any other. Well, let me not say that. Let me keep looking around. Because again, it's not a lot of volume right now. So I'm just going to pay attention to my phone. GPCHF, keep an eye on that one too. Look at the euro pairs. See what's going on because they do have that orange folder news in about 10 minutes. But again, this is Euro USD. All the other USD pairs are pushing up. Last I checked. Well, scratch that. Hit this wall here, and it's stacked on top of this level of price. So it could continue the retracement. But Euro USD looking very similar. Shot up the last couple candlesticks. Let's see if it hit a wall, but it is retracing just like US30. I don't see a wall. Could be one further down. Actually, no, it hit this level of price right here. And we can see that by doing this. So I put the line right where these two candles closed, and we can see right here and where this wick is. That's what price is reacting to. Again, all these candlesticks mean something. All these candle formations mean something. All these price points mean something. Price isn't just doing stuff for no reason. There's always a reason why price is doing what it's doing. And it's up to us to determine what that reason is. Yeah, things are retracing pretty good. So again, if it breaks past this level of price, I'm not going to jump into a buy because again, very clear downtrend, right? Very clear downtrend. You see the lower lows, lower highs, lower high, lower low. So this retracement, again, like I talked about, could very much go here, then drop down, or can go here and drop down, which would still make a lower low, even if it goes right here. The uptrend won't truly be changed until it breaks these highs right here. Even if it breaks these, I still wouldn't say the uptrend changed. It could be the sign of the uptrend beginning, but it won't be definite until these highs get broken here. And, of course, it goes to the zone. Now, if it breaks up to here, again, it could start right here. But as of now, it is still a downtrend. This is just a retracement as of now. So still patiently waiting for sell opportunities, which is a good one right here where we're currently at. If it doesn't continue to push up, could look for a retest and then a sell down. And if you're curious on how to identify the trend and determine when the trend is changing or if the trend is going to continue, I do have a video on YouTube breaking that down as well. I do recommend watching that. It's later titled "How to Identify the Trends." So just go on my YouTube channel and scroll, and you'll find a video called "How to Identify the Trend." And not only do I just break down how to identify the trend, but I give you a real-time example, do some bar replay action. I go step by step how to identify it, and that will help you out as well. Because again, you want to go with the trend on the bigger time frame. And we see AUD CHF trying for a dip again. So again, like I said, we're really waiting for volume right now. So these signs should show you how many times it did attempt to push down here. It is showing you it wants to go down there, but is struggling to break this wall because volume is not in the markets yet. So when volume comes into play, because it's going to do two things. It's going to shoot past this, or it's going to retrace up to here, and then we'll go from there. But like always, hold till SL or TP gets hit. GPCHF is looking nice as well. Yep. Caught this crazy move on Friday as well. Great move right there. Caught this also. So I did the recap of last week, but it is Monday. I like to do the recap of the previous day. So this was Friday, as you can see, September 23rd. That was on Friday. So we had AUD CAD. We got AUD CAD, 69 pips total. GBP New Zealand, 91 pips. And this trade was actually crazy. I wish I had it recorded. I called the trade out. Well, I said I was going to call the trade out. I was like, I'm looking at GM buys. So don't be surprised if you see me call that. And I ended the stream. I wish I kept the stream running because that thing literally shot up 90 pips in 10 minutes, which was insane. Like it shot up 90 pips in 10 minutes. It was the craziest thing ever. It also retraced after that, but the members know why I did that. They already know how these levels work. But as you can see here, we caught this huge move. All TPs got hit. We secured profits. Everything else was free money. And then it retraced. I got wicked out right here. But as you can see, after it hit this zone, it just shot down, which is insane. But we caught that move up, and you can see it took literally 2 15-minute candlesticks. We jumped in on this candlestick, so about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it shot up 90 pips, which is craziness. Then we caught New Zealand USD, which was the pair we're just showing you, 87 pips. We caught NAS100, 26,900 pips, US30, 70,100 pips, and then New Zealand CAD, 48 pips, which is how on Friday we ended with 97,295. Because again, I called sales at 3 o'clock. I called all these trades out on Friday's live stream. So after this live stream is over, make sure to check out that video, how to read candlesticks, how to identify the trend, and check out last Friday's live stream because we went crazy. I called this trade around 3 a.m. Literally no drawdown after the entry. After the next couple candlesticks, no drawdown. Same thing with NAS100. It was a beautiful, beautiful play. But let's go back to the pairs we're in. So this is what we're looking at right now. GPCHF struggling a little bit with this wall right here. So let me go ahead and mark this off for y'all because the members already understand how this stuff works. But on the streams, I like to point things out a little bit so people understand what's going on, because I know you probably don't understand. You see these blue lines, see these yellow lines. You hear me talking about zones. Some people might not even understand what I'm talking about. But for the members watching, you understand what's going on. So now we're back here for the fourth time. So new 5-minute candlestick just started. So let's see if it's going to be the candlestick that we're waiting for. Very close. It's very close. Yeah, US30 looks like it's stacking on this lower price. And again, you could have very much entered buys here. If you entered buys even at this candlestick, when the stack on top of this lower price, you could be up. But I just like to strictly go with the trend. Now, I could have scalped these pips up very much so. But I just decided not to. Because again, it's Monday. Pretty sure I'll find other opportunities elsewhere. Not really too crazy. But I will say this though. If US30 continues to push up and it's showing it's going to be going towards here or here, SPX, on the other hand, I might jump in on a buy. Now, not entering a buy. I'm just speaking my mind, and we're talking trade ideas here. Okay, so just want to make that very clear. I have not entered a buy here, but all these things follow US30 for the most part. So if US30 continues to push up, I might consider quick SPX, potential scalp or buy. Same thing with your 30 and potential USTX. But as like I said, that's just an idea. But we can see price hit this wall right here, reject it down. Now it's stacked on top of this level of price, and it could potentially stack on this level of price and continue up like so. So that's what I'm be looking for, because again, with this stuff, it's not going to be 10, 15, 20 pips. It's going to be literally hundreds of pips each checkpoint. So that's still good money. And as long as you secure your profits and don't over leverage, you will be fine entering a buy. So look at this right here. We broke through it. Talked for 3 minutes, and now we broke through it. So this is good. And this is very good. This is very good. This is what I've been waiting for. So new 15 and new 5-minute candle happening in 1 minute. So let's see if it's going to do what I keep on showing y'all I want to see it do, which would be a nice stack to the downside. Speaking of which, let me see if TP just got hit while we're talking about it. But because this ripped, most likely GBP ripped as well. So if momentum keeps pushing, I might call for sales for that. If anyone entered those sales, y'all should be up. 63.88, 63. So TP1 just got hit. Which is nice. TP1 hit. And as we see now, new candlestick, and it's stacking this level of price. It's retesting right now. So I want to see a retest and reject like how it was rejecting this level here. But TP1 did just get hit. Everyone's screen should be blue. We are making money this morning. It just took a little bit, but I explained why it took a little while. But as of now, we are blue. So let me look at what these other pairs are doing. So this is stacking that level of price, like I said. So I don't want to be even hasty, but I do believe it's going to retrace back to here. I do believe it's going to be going up there. I do believe it's going to go up. So could go for quick scalps. But with this, stop loss would be really tight because, again, we are in a downtrend. So there's no point in having a huge stop loss when we're still mainly in a downtrend. So this would be another 1 to 4, 1 to 5 risk to reward if I was to enter a buy. But I'm still waiting because, again, we're in a downtrend. But this would be a potential setup. But I personally just like to put up markups and trading ideas. I take a lot of mental trades. But again, I have not entered. I just want to make that very clear because I don't want nobody to hit me up and be like, oh, this, that, and the third. So I'm making it very clear I did not enter. These are just trading ideas. Only trade I am in as of now is this trade right here, AUDCHF. Now, 4 o'clock orange news for the euro just happened. Let's see if that affected the markets in any way. Euro USD is looking like a good sell set up. So I might be looking for Euro USD sells right here. Don't be surprised if I call that signal out. But I want to look at GBP/CHF because yeah, so that's looking good too. So I could have called that out, but it is all good, not tripping. Okay, is anyone hop in this? I want to know if anyone hopped in this because it was up here. So if anyone did hop in this, y'all be up. But I do like how this looks, so I might call that out too, just cause. But what I'm really determining is because this one had a lot smoother movements and flow downwards than GC did. But I want y'all to notice when ADCHF broke through this, that is when GBP/CHF broke through. But GBP/CHF did not have these candlesticks like this. Again, there's similarities in all these pairs, like correlating pairs, like all the CHF pairs. But you have to keep in mind that they are still paired with different currency pairs, different values, different countries, etc., etc. So you do have to keep that in mind and consider that. But this is doing a nice stack on level up price, which is looking nice. But again, I'm just watching. I have not hopped in this. Just watching. But if I do decide, this would be my trading idea. A very tight stop loss under the first wall here. Not risking much, but a huge reward. So 1 to 4 means if I risk $5 and all TPs get hit, that means I made $20 risking only $5. If I risked $100, that means I made $400 only risking $100, which isn't bad at all. And this is why you always want to patiently wait. Because again, I had this trade set up. Now it's retesting. Now I want to see if it's going to stack on this level of price again and shoot up, or if it's going to stack back down and look for sales on New Zealand JPY. Euro USD is retesting. So depending on this next 5-minute candlestick, which is popping up in a minute, and the next 15-minute candlestick will determine my decisions on those trades. But again, price is retracing back up, which is very normal for the TPs. Like I said, it'll either reject or break through, waiting on volume. But it broke through. First, it did the rejections, right? Then it broke through. Now it's retracing a little bit. I wouldn't call this a rejection. I'll call this a retest. These were the rejection wicks right here. This is just a retest. But again, these are take profits. You do not have to hold to every TP. Pull out when you're happy. Not every TP is guaranteed to get hit, especially on Mondays. Mondays will hit a few TPs. Some trades obviously will hit all TPs, but again, volume's starting to first flow into the market since the weekend. So you got to keep that in mind. But usually things really start to get cooking for around on Wednesdays for sure. Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. But Mondays and Tuesdays, things are just getting started. Just patiently waiting. So again, don't need to be in a rush to throw your money in the markets. Don't compare. You want to compare your profits day by day, but you don't need to compare, oh, well, last Monday I entered exactly at 3 a.m. or I entered 5 trades exactly at 3 a.m. or last Monday or last Tuesday, this happened, this thing happened. Now, every day is going to be different because there's going to be different things going on during the days, et cetera, et cetera. We can just look at this right here. If it decides to load, and we can literally see how there's all these things going on. Is there a bank holiday this Monday for GBP? No. You know what I'm saying? Is there this many red folders today as it was last week? No. So every day is a little bit different. You got to keep that in mind. So you have to be prepared to adapt, and you have to be mentally strong and understand that. And most of all, you have to be patient. Not feel like you have to rush into anything. I'll never feel like things are taking too long and that you need to hurry up and rush into something, because that will mess you up in the long run. So US oil decided to retrace, hit this wall here, and it's rejecting. So very interesting position it is in. It's under this wall, and it rejected this wall heavily. So it is tempting to look for a sell here, but it's in the middle of the zone. But it did just react off this wall right here. It just rejected off this wall, which is very important to keep in mind. I'm about to mark it off right here. So when we go to smaller time frame, see what I'm talking about. So could go for a sell here. Looking very tempting. Again, these are just trade ideas for now. I wanted to wait for it to go here, but as you can see, never broke under, retrace back up. So I'm just going to put this right here for now. But this could be nice too. Now, obviously, I don't really like that though, because then my stop loss will be at the zone. So I'm just going to leave it on. Now, I could enter though. I could very much enter. But again, trading is just about decision making and choosing when and when not to enter. But this could be a good setup. The more I look at it, the nicer it looks. But again, things are retracing to the upside. So that could very much be the same situation and case for oil. Now, if I did enter, this would be my setup for a nice 1 to 3 risk to reward. Because I do like how that is looking. I'm not going to lie. I already filled that up. It's already dumping. So let me see what the next 5-minute candlestick does, because the spread in oil is pretty big. And if it's going to just retrace or something like that, I don't want to mess with it too much. Yeah, but there ain't a lot going on today, but that's not shocking news. That's not too surprising. So for the most part, just continue watching the charts, looking for new opportunities. We'll be live streaming pre-New York and New York session for the members. If you want to become a member, link is in the description, and the link's also in the free signal room. But yeah, we're going to be having that New York session live stream in a few hours. Talk about the charts more in depth, break things down in more detail. But as of now, These are the trade ideas. I'm just watching the charts. Probably not going to enter any indices or futures into New York session. It is looking like that is most likely what's going to happen. But these are stacking on top of these levels of price. So I might go for some quick buys on the upside. So don't be surprised about that if I call some US30 or SPX scalps. But for the most part, a lot of things are retracing because, again, there was a lot of heavy red folder news last week. Huge candlesticks, huge movements. Like, look at how small these candlesticks were. And then the last 2 days, that's craziness. And that's on a bunch of charts. So adjustments are being made. Thing did retrace back up. So if any of y'all did not secure profits or get wicked out, do not freak out because price can come down. It can potentially come back down. So if y'all didn't get wicked out or take profits, do not freak out too much because even if that does not happen, still go back to the original idea. Hold to SL or TP. The TP got hit. If you didn't see your profits or get wicked out, that is fine. Still hold to SL because it can still pretty much potentially go back down. Even if it comes back up here to the zone, still hold to SL or TP because I say this all the time, but I say it because it's true and it's just a good example to use. There was a pair at one time I called. Me and the members took this trade. It was a Euro Jpy pair. And it was literally 1 pip away from stop loss. Then it retraced. And then not only did it smack all TPs, but then it went zone to zone and then even further. So, and then that's the extreme one pip, but there's also trades, 10 pips away, 5 pips, 15, whatever the case may be. Point is, SLs are strategically placed for if it goes to this level of price, if it breaks all these levels, breaks this zone, then breaks the nearest wall, then I'm most likely wrong and price is going to go to the upside. But even if it comes into the red, it doesn't break this wall. If it comes here, plays around for a few hours, comes up here, then plays around, it could potentially shoot back down. Even US oil. We caught a huge US oil trade. We caught this huge sell. This was like 140 pips. I just dropped the YouTube video on that. We caught that sell live, traded it live, held it all day, caught 144 pips. Make sure to check that video out. I just dropped that. But going back to that, I tried to go for sells again later on that week. Hit 1 TP retrace, hit SL, but literally even after it hit SL, as you can see, it shot back down. Missed a good entry, decided not to enter. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, but it went all the way down. We missed out on like 300, 400 pips. It is what it is, but you gotta, everything you do right, you gotta know what you did right, what you did wrong, how you can improve. Everything you did wrong, you need to know what you did wrong, what you did good, what mistakes not to make again, how to improve, etc., etc. And that's with everything, not just trading, that's just life in general. But again, nothing much going on. I don't really see anything else that's piquing my interest as of now. The JPY pairs are seeming like they're picking up some volume. Japanese yen is looking like it's picking up some volume. So, it's a new 15-minute candlestick. So things are going to get interesting in the next few hours. Again, like I said, anyone still holding this, don't freak out too much. Hold the SRTP. But TP1 did get hit. So yeah, I'm just going to be really paying attention to the futures and indices, of course. Really just trying to see what they're doing. Like I said, looks like it's in a retracement mode and it's going to be going towards like at least like 3700, 3720-ish. could go like almost to 3,800. I would say like 3,770 maybe, then retrace back down, or it could just reverse very soon when New York session starts. But that is to be determined by these next candlesticks. But as of everything else, I'm just watching the pairs. A lot of pairs are changing things up as we speak. Every candlestick's changing things. Again, we were under here, shot back up. Now it could potentially be a buy set up here. So yeah, things are very interesting. But this is very normal, especially on Mondays, for when volume is going to start to pick up. Because again, especially in London, New York, when New York session starts, retracements are going to happen regardless. Just like when London session starts, retracements or big moves are going to happen. But when the New York volume comes in, it's either going to enforce the volume from London and continue to go that way, or when it's retracing, it could very much flip the script on us. Like as we can see here, broke by this level here, hit this wall, retraced, looked like it was about to try to push back up, then the candlestick switched right before our eyes. Just like the AUD-CHF candlestick switched multiple times right before our eyes. And just like how we see this candlestick right here, we saw this push back up, retest, and now we see a potential candlestick to push back down, which is why I said again, do not freak out. Because again, those that entered in the free signal room, y'all should be still blue-ish. Those that entered slightly in drawdown as of now. But again, you can see volume is still trying to push it down. So we're just going to see what it decides to do later on. But yeah, always remember, you can't go wrong securing profits. This one's a little bit smaller TP wise because it's AUD-CHF. That's just natural. You're not going to catch, 20, 50 pips in 10 minutes off this trade. At least not, especially not on a Monday, but I'm not tripping too much. Let's see here. Yeah, so really a game plan might just change a little bit with these Euro pairs because I haven't really paid attention to them. So I'm paying attention to these a lot and really paying attention to them in London session with the members and the live stream to really see if there's any setups. But yeah, I'm just going to be watching these pairs, watching AUD-CHF mainly because we're in that. And if I see any other setups, I will call them out. But as of now, like I said, I'm only in AUD-CHF. That's the only trade I called out. Everything else I am just watching. All these long and short positions are strictly just trading ideas as of now. But yeah, so far starting the week on to a good start. But we're going to see what else is in store for us, especially New York session. Because that's when things should get interesting because everybody's going to be up. Market's going to be open. Volume's about to dump in. Chart 30 is going back to the bottom of the zone. Like I said, it's very much patience because just imagine if we would have jumped in. Like just imagine if we would have jumped in the sell right here, right? Would have been stop loss would have got hit for one. Been a bunch of drawdown, etc., etc. So that's why it's always important to look for multiple confirmations and patiently wait for price to come to you. And of course, stick to your trading rules and your trading plan. You never want to break your trading rules and trading plans for the most part, especially repeatedly over and over again, because that's just going to instill and build bad habits. And bad habits are going to affect your trading in a negative way because you're going to start doing things all the time that are not good. Hence, the term bad habits, where if you're sticking to your plan, staying disciplined, you only go for certain setups, you don't chase trades, you don't freak out, you're always looking at a chart, you will see a lot more success. I'm just taking a deeper look to see what's going on. So now on top of this wall, besides these walls right here to break, let's see, new 4-hour candlestick coming at 5 o'clock my time. I want Eastern Standard Time. Still has this wall right here, these rejection wicks here. So yeah, not for the most part. And this is why it's also important to go on other time frames, because you'll see a lot more things in different perspectives. But yeah, I'm just chilling for right now, looking to see. Have some pairs out looking at. I'm looking at Zealand Jpy to see what it's doing. I have this buy idea set up. If it breaks past this wick and breaks past this level here, I might enter for buys potentially. Might enter for buys right here, or even right here. Probably right here though. I might enter for buys if it breaks that and continues to stack on it. Looks like it's trying to do that right now. But if it does succeed and do that successfully, might enter that. US30 stacking. So yeah, depending on how things look, I might go for some scalps on the futures and indices, depending on how they're looking. But I wouldn't be surprised if I go for scalps. But yeah, and oil, should have been paying attention to that. We could have got into that because we did do the retest and then started pushing down. That was a mistake on my part. We could have got into that, but it is all good. You're going to miss some opportunities sometimes. I need to start putting alerts though. That's what I'm going to start doing, putting alerts, especially when I'm looking at a bunch of charts and, breaking things down and talking. I'm going to start putting alerts so I can not miss as many trades. Yeah, but again, you can even see this here. Like a lot of stuff's still bearish and it's still showing bearish signs even with these retracements. So it's going to be chilling. But US30 is looking like it's trying to. So depending on what these next candlesticks look like will determine my decision on if I want to scalp those or not. Yeah, but that's going to be the end of the stream for now. Like I said, I'm going to have that New York stream in a few hours for the members. Those that are watching stream right now, make sure to like. And if it's your first time on the channel, make sure to subscribe. Check out the other live streams. Check out the trade breakdowns. Check out the trading psychology videos, the Forex trading tips. Make sure to join the free signal room. If you want to reach out to me with any questions or contact me directly, you can hit me up on Instagram, playmaker_way, or click that first link in the description on the live stream or the first link in the description on any of my YouTube videos. You can find my Instagram link there. And of course, the free signal room. My Telegram is right there. You can hit me up there as well. And I'm going to see y'all in the next live stream tomorrow. And trade breakdowns will be getting posted. Another trade breakdown will be getting posted later today. So be on the lookout for that. Check out my trade breakdown. I posted, not trade breakdown, live trading. And there's also a breakdown that I posted of US oil yesterday. 140 pip move we caught live. Make sure to check that out. And I'm going to see y'all in the next live stream.